Before we dive into today's topic, I want to tell you about something that's changed how I approach pigeon health and performance. I run another channel called Pigeon Healthy where I share natural herbal treatment methods that most fanciers have never heard of. We're talking about plants and natural remedies that have powerful healing and performance-enhancing effects on pigeons. Things like specific herb combinations that boost immunity, natural treatments for respiratory diseases, plants that improve digestion and recovery after races, and natural alternatives to chemical medications. We cover pigeon diseases you might be struggling with right now: canker, respiratory infections, coccidiosis, worms, and show you exactly how to treat them using natural methods that actually work. No guessing. No expensive medications with side effects. Just proven herbal protocols used by top European lofts. If you're serious about keeping your birds healthy naturally and improving their performance without chemicals, go subscribe to Pigeon Healthy right now. The knowledge there could save you birds, save you money, and give you an edge your competition doesn't have. Now let's get into today's topic. 3 years ago I lost major race due to weather. The forecast was sunny when I basketed birds Friday evening. Saturday morning at Liberation, heavy rain started. Poured for 6 hours. Of my 10 birds basket, only 4 returned. 6 were lost. The 4 that returned placed 73rd, 89th, 94th, and 107th out of 120 birds. Terrible results. I was devastated. 6 birds lost. 4 placed poorly. Complete disaster from one rain race. I talked to Belgian fancier afterward. Explain what happened. He asked if I ever trained birds in rain. I said no. I only trained perfect weather days. Sunny, calm conditions. He said that's why you lost. Your birds never experienced rain during training. Race day rain was terrifying new experience. They panicked, landed, got lost. The ones that kept flying were stressed and slow. Birds trained in rain regularly don't panic when race has rain. They've experienced it many times. It's normal. They fly through rain confidently. Navigate successfully. Arrive home. Your birds weren't prepared for conditions they encountered. He told me to deliberately train in rain. Don't skip training when weather is poor. Seek marginal weather for training. Light rain, drizzle, mist, overcast. These conditions teach birds to handle difficult situations. Build mental toughness. Develop feather waterproofing. Create all-weather competitors. I was skeptical. Training in rain seemed risky. Birds might get sick, might get lost. But I just lost 6 birds in rain race. Maybe training in rain would prevent future disasters. I decided to try it systematically. 30 days. Deliberate rain training protocol. Document results. Today I'm showing you exactly what happened, why rain training creates massive competitive advantage, and the safe protocols for training in wet weather without losing birds. Let me start by explaining why rain is such a challenge for untrained birds. Rain affects flight in multiple ways. First effect is feather waterlogging. Bird feathers have natural waterproofing from preen oil. Birds have uropygial gland, preen gland at base of tail. This gland secretes oil. Birds spread oil on feathers during preening. Oil creates hydrophobic coating. Water beads off feathers instead of penetrating. But preen gland activation and oil production require stimulation. Birds that never fly in rain have underdeveloped waterproofing. Low oil production. When these birds encounter rain, water penetrates feathers. Feathers become waterlogged. Heavy. The bird is carrying extra weight from absorbed water. Flight becomes labored. Speed drops 20 to 30%. Energy expenditure increases dramatically. Bird exhausts quickly. Second effect is aerodynamic disruption. Wet feathers don't lie as smooth as dry feathers. The surface becomes irregular. Airflow over wings creates more turbulence. Drag increases. Lift efficiency decreases. Bird must work harder to maintain same speed. Combined with weight from waterlogging, the bird is fighting losing battle. Muscle fatigue accelerates. Performance collapses. Third effect is vision impairment. Rain reduces visibility. Bird can't see landmarks clearly. Navigation becomes difficult if bird relies primarily on visual waypoints. Rain also gets in bird's eyes. Blinking increases. Visual acuity decreases. Bird is flying partially blind. Fourth effect is temperature regulation challenge. Wet feathers lose insulation value. Body heat escapes more easily. Bird must generate more metabolic heat to maintain body temperature. This requires energy. Energy that should be used for flight is diverted to thermoregulation. The bird tires faster from this double energy demand. Fifth effect is psychological stress. Bird that's never experienced rain is frightened by unfamiliar sensation. Water hitting feathers. Reduced visibility. Difficulty flying. All of this creates fear response. Stress hormones spike. Decision-making is impaired. Bird might panic and land prematurely. Or bird might circle excessively trying to find familiar landmarks. Or bird might choose wrong direction in confusion. The psychological impact is as damaging as physical challenges. Now contrast this with bird that's been trained in rain regularly. This bird's preen gland is highly active. Oil production is robust. Feathers are thoroughly waterproofed. When rain hits, water beads off. Minimal penetration. No significant waterlogging. Weight stays normal. Feathers stay relatively smooth. Aerodynamics are only slightly impaired. The bird flies maybe 5 to 10% slower than dry conditions but not 20 to 30% slower. This is manageable deficit. Psychologically, rain is familiar. Bird has flown in rain many times during training. It knows it can navigate successfully. It knows rain isn't dangerous. No panic. No fear. Just focus on getting home. Stress hormones stay low. Navigation is calm and deliberate. The bird uses magnetic sense and spatial memory more than visual landmarks because it learned during rain training that visual navigation is less reliable in poor visibility. These adaptations make rain-trained bird vastly superior to untrained bird when race conditions are wet. Let me describe my 30-day rain training experiment. I selected 20 birds. All were trained to 20 kilometers in perfect weather. All had similar baseline performance. I split them randomly into 2 groups of 10 birds each. Group A would receive deliberate rain training. Group B would continue training only in perfect weather as control group. Over 30 days, I would train Group A in rain whenever possible and Group B only when weather was ideal. Then I'd test both groups in simulated rain race to compare performance. Weather during 30-day period was typical for my region. Mix of sunny days, overcast days, rainy days. Total of 8 days had light to moderate rain or drizzle. These became my Group A training days. I trained Group A on all 8 rain days plus additional clear days to maintain total training volume. Group B trained only on clear days. They got fewer total training sessions because I skipped all marginal weather days for them. By end of 30 days, Group A had 8 rain tosses plus 6 clear weather tosses, 14 total. Group B had 9 clear weather tosses, 0 rain tosses. First Group A rain toss was revealing. Light drizzle. 5 kilometers south. Familiar direction. Released birds. They circled extensively. Much more than usual. Seemed confused and hesitant. Took 8 to 10 minutes to depart after release. Normal departure is 2 to 3 minutes. Eventually all departed. Return times were slow. Averaged 38 minutes for 5 kilometers. Normal dry weather time from this location was 18 minutes. Double the time. Birds were struggling. But all 10 returned successfully. No losses. I was encouraged. They handled rain but needed practice to improve. Second rain toss few days later. Moderate drizzle. 7 kilometers. Birds circled less. Maybe 5 minutes before departing. Return times improved. 32 minutes average. Still slower than dry conditions but improving. Third rain toss. Light rain. 10 kilometers minimal circling. Departed within 3 minutes. Return times 40 minutes average. This would normally be 28 minutes dry. Getting closer to normal performance. By 8th rain toss end of 30 days, birds were departing immediately in rain. Navigation was confident. Return times were only 10 to 15% slower than dry conditions. Huge improvement from first toss. Meanwhile Group B trained only clear weather. They had excellent return times in perfect conditions. But they'd never seen rain. Week 5 I organized test. I waited for forecast showing rain. When rain day arrived, I released both groups from 20 kilometers in moderate rain. This simulated race conditions. Both groups released together from same location at same time. I tracked which birds returned when and in what condition. Results were dramatic. Group A rain-trained birds returned average 53 minutes. Range from 47 to 62 minutes. 8 of 10 birds trapped within 70 minutes. All 10 returned within 90 minutes. Birds looked tired but not destroyed. They'd handled the rain successfully. Group B sunshine-only birds returned average 87 minutes. Range from 70 to 135 minutes. Only 4 of 10 trapped within 90 minutes. 2 birds didn't return until next day. They'd landed somewhere overnight and came home morning. The rain had completely overwhelmed them. Performance difference was 34 minutes average. Group A was 39% faster than Group B. In actual race with 150 birds, if Group A averaged 12th place, Group B averaged 67th. 55 position difference from rain training. The experiment proved rain training creates massive advantage when conditions are wet. Even more important, it prevents losses. Group A 0 losses. Group B 2 losses that had to survive overnight somewhere. In real race those birds might not have survived. Predators, exhaustion, getting completely lost. Rain training kept birds safe and competitive. Now let me teach you safe rain training protocol. The key is gradual exposure and appropriate conditions. You can't start with long distances and heavy rain. That's dangerous. You must build progressively. Start with lightest rain conditions. Drizzle or mist. Not actual rain. Just moisture and air. Distance 5 kilometers maximum. Release birds. Monitor carefully. All birds should return within reasonable time even if slower than dry conditions. If any bird struggles badly or fails to return, conditions were too difficult. Dial back to easier conditions next time. After successful drizzle tosses, progress to light rain. Steady light rain but not heavy. Still 5 to 7 kilometers. Birds should handle this with moderate difficulty. Maybe circle more than drizzle but still depart and return. After several successful light rain tosses, extend distance. 10 kilometers in light rain. Then 15 kilometers build distance in rain same way you'd build distance in clear weather. Gradually. Never more than 30% increase per toss. After birds are confident at 15 kilometers in light rain, you can attempt moderate rain. But only if birds showed they can handle light rain easily. Moderate rain is significantly harder. Heavier water. More vision impairment. Start back at short distance. 7 to 10 kilometers in moderate rain. Monitor closely. Birds should still return but times will be slow. That's acceptable. Goal isn't speed in training. Goal is experience and confidence building. Never train in heavy rain or thunderstorms. Heavy rain creates near zero visibility. Birds can't see anything. Risk of getting lost is extreme. Thunderstorms have lightning risk and severe wind turbulence. Too dangerous. Never train in freezing rain or sleet. Hypothermia risk is severe. Birds can't maintain body temperature if feathers ice over. Never train in rain combined with strong winds. Each challenge alone is manageable. Combined is overwhelming. Pick either wind or rain for training. Not both simultaneously. Safe rain training weather criteria. Light drizzle or mist. Visibility minimum 500 meters. No lightning. No freezing temperatures. Light to moderate rain. Visibility minimum 200 meters. No lightning. Temperature above 10 degrees Celsius. Wind less than 20 kilometers per hour. These parameters ensure birds are challenged but not endangered. Within these limits, rain training is safe and highly beneficial. Now let me explain additional benefits beyond race day preparation. Rain training activates preen gland more than any other stimulus. After rain toss, birds preen extensively. This grooming behavior stimulates oil production. Over time, preen gland becomes more active. Oil secretion increases. Feathers maintain better waterproofing even when bird hasn't flown in rain recently. I noticed my rain-trained birds had noticeably glossier feathers than control group. The increased oil production created superior feather quality that persisted weeks after rain training ended. Rain training also identifies mental toughness. Some birds adapt quickly to rain. First toss they struggle. Second toss they're better. Third toss they're confident. These birds have strong temperament. Good problem solving. Mental resilience. Other birds never adapt. 5th, 6th, 7th rain toss they're still panicking and struggling. These birds have weak temperament. Poor adaptability. These birds will always struggle in difficult conditions. Rain training reveals this difference. You can cull the weak temperament birds and breed from strong temperament birds. This improves your genetic program's mental toughness over generations. Rain training develops superior navigation skills. Birds that navigate in poor visibility can't rely on visual landmarks exclusively. They must use magnetic sense, sun compass even when sun is obscured, spatial memory, dead reckoning. These are higher-level navigation skills. Birds forced to develop them in rain training become better navigators overall. Even in clear weather, they navigate more accurately because they have multiple systems working instead of just one. I found my rain-trained birds had faster return times even in perfect weather compared to before rain training. The navigation skills carried over. Rain training provides mental preparation for race day adversity. Racing isn't just physical. It's mental. Bird encounters unexpected challenges during race. Storm appears. Wind shifts. Hawk attacks. How bird responds mentally determines outcome. Bird that's only trained in perfect conditions has no adversity experience. When challenge appears, bird doesn't know how to handle it. Might panic. Might quit. Might make poor decisions. Bird that's trained in rain has adversity experience. It learned that conditions can be difficult but success is still possible. When race day challenge appears, this bird draws on training experience. Stays calm. Keeps trying. Perseveres. This mental toughness wins races. Let me give you Belgian championship example. Paul trains in rain deliberately. He checks weather forecast. When rain is predicted, he plans training toss. Other fanciers skip training that day. Paul drives to release point in rain. Releases birds. Monitors carefully. All birds return. He repeats this throughout season. Maybe 6 to 8 rain tosses per year. Not many, but enough. When major championship race has rain forecast, Paul is excited. He knows 90% of competitors' birds never trained in rain. His birds have. Huge advantage. He's won 3 national races that had rain. All 3 times return rates were terrible overall. 60 to 70% of birds failed to return or returned very late. Paul's birds returned strong. Top 20 placings. The rain eliminated competition. Only his prepared birds succeeded. Now let me address objections. First objection: won't birds get sick from flying in rain? Possibly if you train in extreme conditions or if birds are already weak. But healthy birds flying in appropriate rain conditions don't get sick from the rain itself. Pigeons are naturally adapted to rain. Wild pigeons fly in all weather. Domesticated racing pigeons retain this ability. The key is appropriate conditions and proper post-flight care. After rain training, ensure loft is dry and warm. Provide warm feed if possible. Check birds for signs of excessive chilling. Fluffed feathers, lethargy, refusing to eat. If these appear, bird might have gotten too cold. Bring bird into warm environment. Dry it gently. Offer food and water. Monitor. But in my experience, properly conditioned healthy birds handle rain training without health problems. Second objection: won't I lose birds training in rain? You might if you're reckless. Starting too long distance. Training in too heavy rain. Training in thunderstorms. But following conservative protocol I outlined, loss risk is minimal. I've done dozens of rain tosses. 0 permanent losses. Occasional bird returns next day instead of same day. That's acceptable cost for training benefit. Much better to lose 1 bird in training under controlled conditions than lose 6 birds in actual race under uncontrolled conditions like I did before implementing rain training. Third objection: my birds never encounter rain in races, so why train for it? This assumes you can predict weather perfectly. You can't. Even good forecasts are wrong sometimes. Race day arrives with unexpected rain. If your birds aren't prepared, you're in trouble. Better to prepare for possibility even if it doesn't happen every race. Insurance policy. Also, skills developed in rain training transfer to other difficult conditions. Fog, heat, haze, strong sun creating visual distortion. Birds trained to navigate without perfect visibility handle all these better. Fourth objection: I don't have time to wait for rain and train. I need consistent training schedule. Valid concern. You don't abandon your normal training to wait for rain. You maintain normal schedule in good weather. When rain happens to coincide with training day, you train anyway instead of skipping. Or you add occasional rain training session beyond normal schedule. 6 to 8 rain tosses per year is sufficient. That's once every 6 to 8 weeks. Most regions have rain that frequently. Opportunistic rain training when weather permits combined with regular clear weather training gives complete preparation. If this video showed you that training in rain creates competitive advantage and prevents race day disasters when weather is poor, hit the like button. Subscribe for training methods that prepare birds for real-world racing conditions, not just ideal laboratory conditions. Comment rain training if you're committed to training next time rain appears instead of skipping. And visit Pigeon Healthy for feather health and waterproofing support. Natural oils for preen gland health. Nutrients for feather quality. Support systems that make birds more rain resistant. Prepare for all conditions. Train for adversity. Win when others fail. That's championship mentality. See you in next video.